I have been trading for several amounts of years now, and the truth is I've never felt more confident in my trading than when I have made this specific change to my trading that I'm going to explain to you in this video today. Now, spoiler alert, just to give you a little hint of what you are going to see in this video today, is actually has to do with scalping. You see, scalping has become the popular thing these days. Everyone who trades on the internet, whether they live stream it, they post videos about it, they do tutorials about it, it usually has to do with scalping. But what none of them mention to explain is that scalping can actually be one of the things that hurt your trading. The candles are moving quicker, you have to make quicker decisions, you're not getting the full picture of things like you would on the higher time frame, etc. So what am I talking about? What change am I talking about? Well, allow me to explain this, and I will show you exactly how, if you're struggling as a scalper, maybe your mindset, your emotions, your strategy is just not hitting like you want it to when you are trying to scalp, I'm going to perfectly explain to you a change that you can make, this one specific change that I have made, that will really improve your day trade. So this change that I've specifically made is just trading on the higher time frames. You see, when you are going through trading and you're learning how to trade, the number one thing that should be told to new traders that I don't understand why it's really not anymore is that the higher time frame is always going to tell a better and more clear story than the lower time frames. So let me put up two pictures for you on the screen. The first one is right here. What do you see? You see a rejection off a resistance zone where price immediately hit down into the take profit in the very next candle. Let me put up another picture for you. Bang. Here's the second picture. Which one looks like more excruciating and looks more stressful and looks like more could go wrong going through it? You're probably going to say this one. Well, what is the difference between the two photos? Because what if I told you that those two photos are the same exact trade? The first photo I put up is on the 1 hour time frame. The second photo I put up is on the 3-minute time frame. So you might be thinking, okay, Jake, what does this have to do with anything? Well, you see, this was an actual trade that I took last summer. This was it on the 1 hour time frame where I actually entered and executed my trade. And then that was the same trade just on the 3-minute time frame. Well, what did I do? I placed that 1 hour time frame trade and I left. I set my stop loss, I set my take profit, I shut off my computer, I went to boxing, I took my dogs for a walk, I got lunch with my friend, and I came back and checked later and bang, take profit was hit. I avoided any stress, any mental blocks that I would have had if I stayed there and sat there and watched over the trade. Instead, I got to do what the real benefits of trading are. I got to place the trade, stop loss, and take profit, and I got to go enjoy my day as a professional full-time trader, hang out with my friends, take my dogs for a walk, and go box. So if you're somebody who is struggling with trading, maybe you're on a 5-minute scalp, a 1-minute scalp, a 3 or 2-minute scalp, and you're constantly getting stopped out. You feel like you can't gain control of your emotions. You're over trading, you're over leveraging. Why don't you try something like that? Why don't you take whatever strategy you use? For me, it's support and resistance. For you, it could be imbalances. It could be, RSI. It could be 15-minute orb, etc. And why don't you just take it and multiply it to the higher time frame? Because that's all I did. I had my 3-minute, my 5-minute, and my 1-minute support and resistance strategy, and I noticed I kept getting stopped out of trades, which forced me to re-enter trades. I was sitting there watching the candlesticks, panicking, being stressed out. So all I did was take my support and resistance strategy, move it to the 30-minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour time frame, place these higher time frame trades that are going to have more confluence in the first place because they are higher time frame, and then all I did was move on with my day. Hung out with my dogs, went to wrestling, went to boxing, hung out with my friends, went to the gym, went for runs, went swimming in the backyard. You name it, I was doing it while the trade was playing out. You come back later in the day, you see, okay, trade has hit my take profit, trade has hit my stop loss, whatever happens, happens. It's going to force you not to overtrade. It's going to force you not to be mentally stressed. So now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you onto the charts now, and I'm going to show you a few specific examples of trades you could have taken on the higher time frames and how they would have looked on the lower time frames. So, guys, let's actually check out what we have going on here. Here we are on Bitcoin. So we have our areas of support and resistance marked out. And remember, I trade support and resistance, so this is the higher time frame strategy I use. If you use fair value gaps, if you use, like I said, orb, if you use any different strategy, just take it from scalping and pair it with higher time frame if you are struggling with your scalping. If you're not, stay with what works. So here we are on the 1 hour time frame. We have our area of resistance that turned into newfound support here. Why? We had price continuing to reject off of it here, making it an area of resistance. Price later broke above, came down, retested it, and then used it as a support to bounce off and give you an amazing bullish trade if you were to take it. So let's go ahead and mark off this area right here as where we would take this trade. Here's what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Price comes down, it gives you the rejection off the zone twice here as you have your 2 bounces. And then what you could do is potentially enter the trade right here, and you could place your stop loss under here. You could target the next zone up here, the next key level as I like to call it, and price would go all the way up. You could avoid being involved in the market. You could go out, you could do whatever you wanted to do, all these fun different things, and you could let price do its thing. So now let's go over to the 5-minute time frame and let's actually see what that looked like. If we go down to the 5-minute time frame and we have our area here, it's not even marked out as a support and resistance zone. So let's mark it out just like that. Let's say that happened. Boom. Price comes down, price rejects off of it, under it. Let's say you enter off the engulfing candle of this resistance zone right here. You have your stops under here, etc. You're next targeting that area all the way up here. Sure, it would have happened, but look at all the continuous movement that you get right here. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but some newer traders just would not be able to handle all of this here. Maybe price would come up here and they'd move their stops to break even. They'd get stopped out at break even and then miss the rest of the move. So just because something works out like it did here, I'm not going to act like this didn't work out, but just because that doesn't mean it's always going to work out easily. Another thing is you are going to base your take profit, if you're like me, off levels of previous structure. So we have levels here, we have levels right here. So maybe you put your take profit there and you get stopped out, or you get your take profit gets ticked, and then you miss the good part, the rest of the move, when in fact, if you just, let's go back on the 1 hour time frame and let's look where that is. You bang, you put your resistance, your line there. Well, what are you seeing? There is no of those stupid levels that could potentially make you put your take profit. You can gauge the full move by this being your next level. There is none of these 5-minute levels. There is none of these 3-minute levels that, you could psychologically get messed up from and stuff like that. You just have your level up here that you're looking to target. So there's loads of reasons, but the number one reason I'd say is you just get to go on and enjoy your day. The higher time frame always tells a better story, and it always tells a smoother, easier story. So without further ado, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.